Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and in today's video, I want to continue the conversation that we had on Sunday with relation to the upcoming collaboration event that's going to be happening in Raid probably by the end of August, if we're taking the same timeline as we did from last year. Honestly, a lot of the things that Plarium and Raid has been doing over the last year and a half is almost on the dot with the exact times and releases as they did before. So I think that they're probably going to be doing the same going forward, and which means that towards the back end of this coming month, we're going to be getting ready for another fusion event, or aka the end of August fusion event is going to be related to the collab. Now, I want to talk about the one that I think that it's going to probably be, and we can discuss this, and I think it's fun just to really have this conversation and looking at some of the figures, and also as to why it could point to this and why it also might not. But this is something that is a hot topic in my Discord server for sure. There's been a lot of conversation about, what this might be. And it's a good thing because I think, honestly, the hype levels for the collab is bigger than some of the current stuff, even with the fusion that's ongoing right now. So I want to talk about that and more. Before we get started with the rest of the video, though, I do want to remind people that you can still use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get the legendary Orc Artak, and also these amazing epics, Farrakhan the Fat, Fenax, and Cryon the Blue at level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget about your pal, Pelops the Victor. He was the fusion event legendary from March for the Argonites faction. You just got to use the promo code RAID7 in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Now, I want to talk about, oh my god, that wasn't what I wanted to do. What happened there? Okay, hold on. Let me fix this for 1 second. I can do this. I can do this. There we go. Okay. My apologies. I was away. The last couple of days I was using different monitors and screens, and so my OBS was not the settings were not proper. Anyways, a lot of the collab conversation has to do around this teaser, right? I brought this up on Sunday. I'm going to bring it up again. And this very well could be a massive red herring also, just in case people care. If anyone knows what this is, I really wish that this would be the case. Some people posted comments on my video there about having a fairy tale anime collab, but yeah, I mean, that would be awesome because I would like that, but I'm not sure that that's where they're going. Try to guess the next raid champion. Now, that's singular, right? Try to guess the next raid champion based on a fairy tale. So maybe, and what some people have suggested is maybe it's not the August collab, but it could be in November when they're releasing, they normally release like 2 characters or something like this, or who knows, maybe they could do it like off the regular collab season, I suppose. Maybe they did this with the other characters. I wasn't playing when they released like Hansel and Gretel, like this duo, but I think it was a Halloween thing that they did there. So who knows? They could do it. Maybe this has nothing to do with the collab, and we're still talking about it. But anyways, I want to keep the conversation going anyways. This is something that it's not what I want to happen, but Rain Dragon in my Discord server really wanted me to bring this up in a video, so I'm doing it just because of him. Yes, he did it with AI. We were talking about the Smurfs. He was talking about the Smurfs, but yeah, I think it's funny, actually. I laughed a little bit when I saw the picture, just because, like, taking the... there's all sorts of, like, Smurfs movies and this shit, and it's been around for a very long time, and just seeing it sort of in a raid fantasy fashion, I actually think is pretty humorous, especially on the left-hand side here with the 2 daggers. That's just me. So what's even there? Blue Moon, Blessing, Smurf Village? I mean, those are pretty weird attack names, but anyways, I thought it was funny. I think this is kind of important, though. So what is this? This is the raid revenue versus collaborations between Q1 2025 and present, based on revenue in millions of Swedish crowns, because I believe the parent company is based in Sweden. And so it's kind of important to note in terms of what made them money and what made them more money, I guess. And that's important because I mentioned this on the Sunday video, that public domain versus active license IP is very different. So you can see here that for Alice's Adventure, it says an internal event, but what this means is it was public domain. So you did not need to pay for a license to be able to run the Alice's Adventure collab, which was in the Q1 of 2025. And this is very similar to also the Asgard Divides, I think it was called, for Thor, Loki, Freya, and Odin. That was all public domain. So they did not have to pay a large sum of money to another company in order to be able to use them. That being said, you can see here with Alice's Adventure, it was approximately about 800 million Swedish crowns for that period of time. And then roll into Chaos Awakes, things are improving, right? Like Raid makes a lot of money. But if you look at like sort of what was making more money, that's interesting too. So Q2, about 1,000 for Chaos Awakes. That was last year, right? That was your Lemonici and Balar the Lost and some of the other characters, right? I forgot Karosa, right? The mythical that came out for that. And then Q3 was sort of where Chaos Awakes was ending and TMNT was starting. And between the Q3 and Q4, they made a crap ton of money, right? And if you kind of listen to my video on Sunday where I talked about their earnings calls and things and their plans going into the future, I think they want more of this. AKA they want more IPs. They want more licensed collabs, right? I think that makes them a lot more money because then you get that FOMO. Keep in mind that you can pull Cheshire Cat and Alice and whatever. You can Mad Hatter. They're all available now, right? Which means that there's not a lot of FOMO because eventually you can pull them again. For licensed events, unless they somehow come back, which is very far and few between, that it's a lot of FOMO, right? You one time, if you don't get it now, you're not going to get it later. That kind of thing. And people tend to spend more money on this. And I think that's why it's really important to kind of understand the differences here. So TMNT, 1,000 million, 1.3 billion, I think, Swedish crowns, 1.5 for TMNT and the Alien Predator Pass. Now, it's important to note about the timeline of media releases surrounding these as well. I could be wrong, and someone, please feel free to post in the comments down below. As far as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the only thing that I was directly aware of that was, and I may have missed a show or something, but there was this side-scrolling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time. Like, it was like a re-release of like that old TMNT Super Nintendo game that they had. There was a side-scroller beat 'em up. I think that was in 2025. I don't know if there was any. I don't think there was a movie. But there might have been some TV shows. I'm not. They kind of like come and go a lot. So TMNT has always been around a lot. I don't know if it was kind of around that time though. I think when it comes to the bigger collabs, aka the 5-6 person collab, same with Assassin's Creed, it's not exactly releasing when when things were going on for that. For Aliens and Predator, this was very close to the movie of Predator, which I believe was maybe like within 1 month of the actual movie release. I think the movie was still in theaters at this time when this came out. So it wasn't too bad, but there's only 2 characters versus the bigger collabs, which are like 5-6 characters. This probably takes a lot more planning and a lot more work. So I think what we're looking at is a situation where whatever collab it's going to be is something that probably happened within the last year or so, right? Potentially. So we're going to get there, and He-Man Skeleton, it was already there, right? All they do is like re-release it again, pay for the license fee, whatever. But you can see here that in general, the amount of money they made versus, say, Alice and even early Chaos Awakes from last year was significantly higher in the revenue, which makes sense that this is probably going to be a licensed IP event. Now, this is going to roll into what I think is going to be, based on a lot of conversations that I've had. We'll see whether or not this ends up being true or not. And a lot of people in my Discord server are suggesting and have been trying to circle the dots a little bit with kind of the teaser that it could be Devil May Cry. There's a character named the White Rabbit, apparently, in Devil May Cry. I have not been keeping up with this game. I played it way when I was younger. But there has been a lot more recently, especially in the last year, specifically, that there has been the Devil May Cry Netflix series. They had season 2 last year, in the middle of, actually it says April 3rd. That was premieres on Netflix. And I believe that they've already confirmed a season 3 coming over for this as well, which may not be until next year. But it has been incredibly popular. And also I do want to point out that there was, I have an image here somewhere. It was somewhere. Let me go find that. Sorry, I didn't have this on hand, so I had to pause the recording. So this was a video that Boozer had done a while back, and also there was these surveys that was given out to some players about things that they would like to see upcoming in Raid. And there was a handful of different IPs that was mentioned in here. You can see on the screen that it was surveyed a bit. Shrek was mentioned in the survey. This is Bose Gorilla typed a summary of this. Metalocalypse, The Blood of Dawnwalker, God of War, Shrek, Age of Mythology, Magic the Gathering, Tekken, Street Fighter, 300, Tomb Raider, Devil May Cry was all listed on this survey. So do they take any of this into consideration? I wonder. As far as Street Fighter, and some people say Mortal Kombat, I think this would do better in a November-based collab when you have two characters like a Ryu and Ken, and Sub-Zero and Scorpion, like a duo collab. Like, I think that would work better there. I know we would all love to see more characters from the franchise, but I think it would at least be quite easy to do for something like that. The problem is I think that we do need to look kind of backwards a little bit, because when it comes to Assassin's Creed, there was, okay, Black Flag got a re-release like just now recently, but aside from that, when this came out back in February, there wasn't anything that was immediate. I don't think immediately in 2025. I have not played all the Assassin's Creed games. I know that there was this a Japanese-based Assassin's Creed Ninja game or something like that. That was like, I want to say 2024, but I don't think it was in 2025. So I do think that they kind of plan. They have to plan. I want to say at least 6 months, if not closer to a year in advance about releasing these IP events that they're planning ahead for. Another game that I play, Marvel Strike Force, when it comes to their character creations for not even collabs, they don't do collabs, but character creation, they're about 6 months in advance. So I would imagine their rate is at least that, if not more, when it comes to collabs and getting that all sorted and whatnot with legal shit, right? And so that's why I think that this could be Devil May Cry, right? You know, because of that. And some things that I wanted to point out here from Bose Gorilla about this. The rabbit asks, try to get... So there's that white rabbit, right, in Devil May Cry. The poster shows Alice in Wonderland white. This is some AI stuff. Devil May Cry anime has its own white rabbit, the demon rabbit linked to the Alice in Wonderland story. Same visual, different origin, connection. Why Devil May Cry? Fairy tale character, right, related to that the white rabbit thing here, right? We already have the white rabbit on the back of Alice, which I realized, you know, I forgot that I was actually the backpack of Alice. And then the survey confirmed Devil May Cry appeared in Plarium's IP survey about a year ago. Netflix timing, season 1 was massive, season 2 in 2026. Season 3, did I get the season 2 date wrong? Maybe this was something from season 1. So maybe season 2 was actually earlier this year. My bad, guys. And then season 3 is confirmed. Capcom partnership. Monster Hunter Collab 2024 proved that they work with Plarium, and they need it, right? The IP collab allows them to hit higher financial targets, that they're going to make more money off of one-time IP collabs. It gets them a lot more money than public domain kind of based collabs would. So just to go back to wherever that screenshot was here, right? It's really important to note that they make crap tons of revenue when it comes to licensed IP because of the FOMO and whatnot, and heavy spenders are going to spend even more. But I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are about all this in the comments down below. I'd like to keep this conversation going because I think like I want to do at least one video per week about this, because we're going to be getting it. Maybe there's going to be more hints, who knows? But we're going to be getting even closer to the official release date. I love talking about it because it's fun, and people love the collabs, right? Like the characters are pretty fun, and they've kind of hit it out of the park, I would say, for at least the last year. From TM, even the Alice was really great, even though it wasn't a licensed IP. But the Alice, the TMNT, Alien and Predator, you know, all this is really fun. Assassin's Creed even was still pretty fun. So I can't wait for what happens in Raid Shadow Legends, and we'll be talking about that more, of course, as the weeks and the month goes on. Anyways, that's going to be it from me. Now, before we go, of course, don't forget you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get the legendary Orc Artak. And then we also have Ferric the Fat, Fanax and Cried in the blue at level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget your pal, Pelops the Victor from the Argonites faction. All you got to do for this legendary is use the promo code RAID7 in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. All right, guys, that's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.